He joins us right now on the fan hotline. Jason, good morning to you. If Kevin Stefanski had his way, who would be playing quarterback right now getting ready for Sunday against the Raiders?
Oh, jeez.
With Dylan Gabriel injured, with him still with a concussion, who would be playing quarterback?
Given who he's picking from here, Shedeur and Zappy?
Throw Deshaun Watson in there. What the hell?
Oh, man. Boy, you're really coming out guns blazing. Who do I... Truth serum, who do I think Kevin would want playing? I would probably have... Oh, God. You're going to turn this into a clip on me. I could see it already.
Just answer the question. You don't even... You say you don't even check your mentions, so just answer it.
I took Twitter off my phone. I don't even have it on my phone.
Wow.
It's a beautiful life.
Tough talking, Jason.
Yeah, probably Bailey. If I'm being honest, probably Bailey.
Okay. So this is my thing. I came to a conclusion yesterday and this morning. I woke up at 1 o'clock this morning. Many people know I'm a Shedeur fan. They're saying I'm a turncoat right now. I'm being called a Benedict Arnold because
join the club.
I just think, well, no, I like Shedeur, and that's why I'm so nervous about Sunday because I'm like, I don't see it going well for him. I could see them actually still winning because the Raiders are terrible, but I just don't think it's going to go very good at all. Like, none of this makes sense. I'm trying to hurry an off-season of work into 3 days, and to make this easier, this is not a good setup, and it's not about him as much as it is about the Browns this year. Like, this is not the way you treat rookies.
No, I mean, that last thing is the most important thing. One is, how often does a third-round rookie quarterback and or a fifth-round rookie quarterback ever have success in the NFL? Like, incredibly rare. Rarely are they even on the field, let alone having success. So, like, what's the bar you're talking about? I think Shedeur's going to look better than he did Sunday next week. I mean, the Raiders are terrible.
Well, I'd certainly hope so.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's degrees to this. Is he going to go out here and throw for 300 yards and put up 30 points? Highly doubtful. And that's not even all. Like, the thing I've been screaming all year, and no one really cared and just kept saying fire everybody. But now suddenly, I think the Shedeur fans care. Is like, the tackles are the worst in the league, and I don't have the updated numbers, but this was as of a few weeks ago. They haven't changed. Slowest receivers in the league, or among the slowest receivers in the league. They don't create separation. They don't make catches in traffic, and they drop first downs. Now, the first down drops have actually seemed to have gone away. You know, we haven't been screaming about the drops quite as much here the last few weeks, but this is a horrendous offense in general. So what quarterback is going to come in here and have success? So that part of it isn't even on him. That's just what he has to work with around him that's setting him up for failure. And then you mix in his strengths and his shortcomings. And, it's really hard to get a fair evaluation on any of these guys because of the state of the offense. But, you know, everything that we were told, everything that we were saying in the pre-draft process, you saw unfold. Yeah, it was only 2 quarters. Yeah, it was 1 half. The alarming part is everything that we heard bad, you saw with your own eyes immediately. Doesn't know what he's looking at, holds on the ball too long, turns his back. Like, trifecta. 1, 2, 3. You saw it all. So, like, that's why he fell, guys. It's not a conspiracy that the NFL has against him. It's not the Browns trying. Like, we have heard, there have been so many stupid things said, just totally irrational, dumb, emotional things said over the last 6 months. And I left Sunday going, okay, well, there you go. Now you saw it. Now you've seen it for yourself. Like, that's why. That doesn't mean he can't have a successful NFL career. I would never say after 2 quarters a guy is or is not going to have a good career in the NFL. The only thing I've said all year is he's not ready right now. The best thing he could have done and should have done would be to go to Baltimore or Philly. And they didn't want to do that. So now here we are.
All right, Jason, with your reporting over the last few days that Kevin Stefanski had been telling members of the organization that the plan was to redshirt Shedeur, the organization still paved the way by eliminating guys ahead of him so that he would be played. Was there a conflict within the organization? Are there 2 distinct sides of this? One saying he shouldn't play this year, the other saying we're going to make sure that he gets on the football field.
Yeah, I can't answer that definitively. You can certainly build that case, but I can't sit here and tell you with clarity absolutely yes or absolutely no. I don't know. But if you watch, and that's what that's the thing that has baffled me throughout all of this, is the way that they handled trading the veterans. I didn't understand why they traded Kenny Pickett. We talked about that. It didn't make sense to me because he pulls his hamstring. You're going to trade him? Like, really? He's a veteran quarterback. I think he can miss a couple of weeks and be okay. So that's the one that, and like when they signed Flacco, I told you guys when they signed Flacco, I don't understand this. I don't know why you're signing a 40-year-old quarterback. Like, what is the upside in this? This is a bad football team. Now, you can build the case, and this part makes sense. Like, okay, you've got two veterans in the room now that are on cheap deals. You've got Pickett, you've got Flacco. And they're not costing you a lot of money because you can't afford a lot of money on a quarterback right now because of the cap situation. We don't even need to get into all that. We all know why. So, okay, you got two veterans. One's going to start. One's going to be the backup. They can at least hold down the room. They are professionals. They know how to go about their business and handle their business. There'll be a good presence in the locker room. Okay, now you've taken the project quarterback in the third round in Dylan. He's not going to have to play right away unless things really get weird because you got two veterans in front of him. Okay, there's our quarterback room. Drive home from the draft Friday night from Berea feeling pretty good about where things stand. And then all of a sudden Saturday morning, like, you know what? Let's take Shedeur. And that threw a grenade into the room that blew the whole thing up because now all of a sudden, now you're running these crazy practices where you've got four quarterbacks and you're going on two fields, and now you're trading the veterans because you got to see what you've got in these rookies. When for 24 hours, if you pull out and you look at it, for 24 hours, they had a decent plan. Now, nobody, I have heard nobody say Dylan Gabriel is going to be the franchise quarterback for this team for the next 10 years. So if you want to kill him for spending a top 100 pick on a backup quarterback, go right ahead. But the point was, when they left the draft after night 2, they had two veteran quarterbacks and a project third round and third string quarterback who they could bring along slowly, see what they have in them. And then more than likely they would revisit quarterback in the draft again this coming year. It sounds fine in theory. Like, okay, I can get that. I can get behind that. It's when they woke up Saturday and said, nah, let's take Shedeur. That's when everything started to get weird.
Jason Lloyd joining us from The Athletic. So again, for Kevin, I mean, you said he'd probably play Zappy right now. How does he plan on going about getting Shedeur ready this week? Because that's my whole thing. I'm going, man, I just don't trust the setup. It ain't even about the quarterback. I don't trust the setup. I didn't think it was fair to Dylan either.
No, I agree. There's no talent on this offense. Now, what you got in your favor, it's a road game, but it's not really a road game because the Raiders don't have very good crowds there. The Raiders are an awful football team. So, you know, this is a very winnable game. And if he can make some throws early and get some confidence, set him up with some quick, easy throws, keep things very simple, and give him an opportunity to play to his strengths. And he made a couple of throws Sunday that I thought were terrific. Everybody's like raving about the Fannin throw, and I get it. It was a good throw. That to me, that's also just a normal standard NFL quarterback play. The pocket held for him for once. He had a clean pocket. He stepped into the throw. He made a great throw to a wide open receiver in the middle of the field. I like the Larvadain throw in the corner, and I heard Albert yesterday saying that was a terrible decision because he was covered and it should have gone to the flat and Judy. Okay, fine. Yeah, you can make that. I've seen the film breakdowns. He should have gone to Judy. Fine. Just being able to see, like, I got one-on-one on the outside. I'm going to put a ball up and let my guy go make a play. Now, granted, you probably know your personnel. That's Gage Larvadain, and it's not Jerry Jeudy, who hasn't even been all that great. You know, if it's Jamar Chase out there, you give it to him every time and you let him go make a play. I'm just saying the ball placement, the way he threw it, I thought that was a terrific throw. Personally, I thought that was his best throw of the night. So there are tools that you can work with. It's everything else that you have to sort of mitigate and cover up for right now because he's a little bit raw in NFL systems. So, you got to simplify things. He's got to get it out quick, can't hold on to the ball. And you're right. How do you clean that? Like, this has been an issue for 4 years and you're going to fix it in 1 week with 3 practices? No, probably not. But, this is why I thought it was a bad idea to play him against the Ravens when the whole thing of, that's enough of Dylan. Let's start Shedeur. I'm like, I'm not putting him out there. I would not want to put him out there against Baltimore's defense because they're going to blitz the crap out of him, and that's exactly what happened. The Raiders don't blitz a ton. You're probably going to see that.
They will this week.
I think they will this week.
Right. Yep, you're right. They will, and they're going to try and confuse him. They're going to disguise looks. They're going to put 8 on the line, drop 2, and he's got to figure out which 2 are dropping, and we'll see. So, am I expecting brilliance? No. Am I expecting improvement from what we saw Sunday? Absolutely.
Jason Lloyd, join us right now. All right, you're not looking into a camera right now. We are. But we have our audience of Shedeur fans around the country. They're going to be listening very closely to this question and answer right now. So I will ask you point blank, Jason Lloyd, how well does Shedeur Sanders have to play in his allotted time the rest of the season for the Browns not to take a quarterback in the first round with one of their 2 picks?
I mean, he would have to play abundantly well. He would have to make it. And he would have to make it abundantly clear, you don't need to go looking any longer. I am your answer. And that's going to be hard because of the pieces around him, because the pieces around him are not very good. Flacco couldn't make it work. Dylan Gabriel couldn't make it work. And now it's on him to do it. So, I mean, I've thought all year they're going to go back and revisit quarterback again next offseason. This was always a one-year bridge. Last year's quarterback class was horrendous. And they had the 2nd pick in a 1 quarterback draft, as my buddy Zach has often said, and it's hilarious and it's true. Like, that's Cleveland. They got the 2nd pick in a 1 quarterback draft. What other quarterbacks from this class have been great? You want Tyler Shuck? Well, then you have to give up Quinshon Judkins or Schlesinger off this team to get him. So, like, there just was nothing to pick from. So, I mean, they got a handful of games left. If he goes out and absolutely dominates, and if he balls out Sunday and plays like, we are not expecting, if he does throw for 300 and hang 30 on them, yeah, he's got the job for the foreseeable future, I think, for at least another couple of weeks, for sure, regardless of how anyone thinks or feels. Because if you can make it work with this mess, all credit to you, because nobody else has been able to figure it out. But to win the job for the end of the year, he's going to have to win multiple games. He's going to have to beat teams that we don't think are games that they would win otherwise. And he's going to have to be the difference maker. And I don't know how realistic that is or not, but if you're asking me what has to happen, that's probably what has to happen.
Lloyd has us just staring into the ether right now with that answer, because that to Shedeur fans are going to be like, well, what was the point of this whole situation? Why were we drafted? Because they don't think he was a 5th rounder.
There's another question I want to ask.
They think he was Mel Kiper's number 1 on the board at one point. So they can't get it out of their head that he slipped, and they allege it's this whole vast conspiracy that all the teams got together and said they weren't going to draft him. Does that make you fall to 5, though?
Why? Why was there this grand conspiracy? Why did nobody want him? Why, at the most important position in the league where teams are desperate to get a game changer and a franchise pillar, why would they turn their nose to him if they thought he was that good? The Browns have been desperate for a quarterback for 25 years. Why would they sabotage a kid at the position they need most of anything?
They wouldn't do it on purpose.
It is nonsense.
Well, that's true.
They might do it on purpose.
They might do it by accident.
Yeah,
sure.
I think they've done it on accident, but I don't think they do it on purpose.
And that's why I don't see a path for him here to be the guy. And Lonnie kind of said, like, yeah, I think they're going to revisit quarterback again in the offseason. The best thing could have been for him, go to Baltimore, go to Philly, go sit behind an MVP. A Super Bowl MVP or a league MVP.
That would have angered him, too, because he would have sat out the whole year.
Well, yes, and he probably would sit next year, too. And you know what? After sitting for 2 years, maybe they correct some of these things. And then the PR machine starts. And then they start leaking to the league mouthpieces about how great Shedeur looks. And then they trade him, they work with him and trade him into a situation where a team needs a quarterback, where he would be set up for success. And then you press launch on the button, and now he's ready to go. Like, it would give him the best opportunity to have great success. Again, I am not saying Shedeur Sanders will never be a great quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if he will be or not. I just know from everything I have heard since they took him, he's not ready now. And when you're not ready now, you're expecting a franchise that has not developed a quarterback in 25 years. You're trusting them to develop him as a 5th-round pick? Whatever give you the belief? They had the number 1 pick. Multiple times they've had first-round picks, and including the number 1 pick, obviously, in Baker. So what makes you think that this organization would be the organization that would develop a 5th-round pick? I just don't see the path for him here.
League mouthpiece, who are you taking a shot at? Come on, Jason, answer the question, tough guy.
I got a couple people in mind, but you're not getting me on this one.
Are we going to see Deshaun Watson this year?
I'm going to stand by my answer. You better not. Yeah, I don't care who you ask.
That's an opinion. That's an opinion. I need an answer. I need an answer what you think is going to happen.
That's my answer. You better not.
No, it's not. No.
Then here's the answer. Your owner has now come out twice. He doubled down on it, saying it was a mistake. How do you put him back out there when your owner has said twice it's a mistake?
Can I ask a counterpoint?
Go ahead.
What's it matter in the last 2 weeks of the season, especially if they're trying to lose?
What's Jeff Driscoll doing? Go sign Jeff Driscoll. Put him back out there. And I've heard like Albert say you're trying to get something for your investment. No, the investment's gone. And the fact that he's even still on the roster is a disgrace. Like they should have figured it out with the cap before now. It's embarrassment that he's still here. He shouldn't have been here. They should have cut him after last year, but they keep trotting him out with the practices and the videos and all that. I understand they're not making the videos. It's him doing it with the Instagram or whatever else. He should have been cut. And listen, when at the time of the trade, I will never run from this. I said I understood why they made the deal. I understood what was going on with Baker behind the scenes and how he was melting down. He wouldn't get back to him. He wouldn't return their texts. There was so much going on there. And at the time, he looked like he had an MVP quarterback in front of you. I'm not killing them for making the trade. As horrendous as it was, it's hypocritical of me if I come out and kill them now for making the trade. I totally get why they made the trade. It was a magnificent disaster, and good teams identify that and get off of that as soon as possible, and they have not done that.
All right, Jason, thank you very much for the time. Read him in The Athletic. Thank you.
All right, see you, boys.
Jason Lloyd from The Athletic on the Fan Hotline. Did you like those answers? I did.
Yeah, most of them. Yeah.
I thought they made. I have to tell you, I didn't like hearing them, but I thought they made sense. I should say.
I wonder what the Shedeur people that are engaging with us right now. How would you have felt now about sitting at least a year? Jason said 2 years. The guy that you thought was a number one quarterback on the board at one point. How would you feel if he was in Philadelphia or Baltimore, sitting at least one full year?
It would have made more sense to sit behind Lamar Jackson.
I want to ask them. I want to ask them.
Well, can I already agree with them and say you're comparing Lamar Jackson to Dylan Gabriel? Can I already agree? I hate to put their opinion in. I hate to say their opinion for them.
Kenny, the reason I ask is because now they all seem fired up about this situation. This isn't going to be right. They're screwing up his development. All right, the teams that would have done it correctly, they would have sat your guy, and you wouldn't have seen him on a football field for at least a year.
But then again, they're mad at me because I'm saying it ain't going to go well Sunday.